Extra Mile. A fun and informative companion piece to go with this week's episode, which it may be best to listen to first. Oh, cripes. Hello, everyone. Oh, welcome to Extra Mile. The unscripted, mostly unscripted. Well, it is unscripted, unedited bit, partially edited because the mid-section, the little sketches I put in are now a little bit edited, but not massively edited. Anyway, welcome to Extra Mile. You can take your little hat off. There we go. Welcome to new Extra Mile. So obviously we've got them split now, which is better for me. It makes everything better for me. A little bit more extra work. More extra work. That's not even a. It's not even a sentence, but there we go. I'm just going to open up some windows. Oh, open up window. There we go. Oh, I was racing to get this done, only slightly because some guys with some strimmers were working their way up the canal, and I was like, oh no, I just want to get this done. And they, for the first half an hour of the recording, they were but they kind of shut up for a bit, which is good. They're quiet now, so yeah, I've just opened the windows. It's nice. It's a lovely day today. It's very sunny, very nice. So I'm just going to wrap this up. Going to do my early edit on this, where I clean up the audio. I spend about half a day cleaning up the audio and making it sound nice. There's nothing worse than the sound of buses going past and all that, and horrible sounds, and also mouth noises. My mouth was very clicky during that, so yeah, I always clear up those, and ums and ahs, and me swearing at myself because I can't get the words right, and yeah. I know you may listen to it and goes, oh, it sounds nice, but that is a lot of editing to make that first half, even just the narration, even just to get that sounding nice. That takes a lot of work to get that right, to edit it nicely. Because I don't like listening to podcasts and things are wrong, or it doesn't sound good. I'd rather it just sounds good. And whereas the crap, this bit, all over the shop, who cares? I can make as many mistakes as I like, so there we go. We got something coming up. So I mentioned it last week. I'm going to advertise it this week because the pay system is finally sorted. I've just emailed the guy to get him to update the description details on this, because he put descriptions for half the shows on, and the rest of them he couldn't be arsed. He gave up. I think he went off to play golf because he loves his golf. So this is a true crime convention. It's on Saturday the 7th of September. It's in Sheffield. It's an all-day event. The great thing is, unlike some true crime events, you don't need to spend between 300 quid and 800 quid for a ticket, which is absolutely ridiculous. These are £40. £40 a ticket, plus costs, that's £44. Bargain. It's an all-day event. I think it's like eight different people on, I don't know, performers, I guess we're called performers. And even better, for that £44 as well, it's a buffet included as well. Blimey, even better as well, you don't need to stay in a pricey 4-star hotel in London, which costs you a fortune. On one event that I won't mention, I've met people there before who said, oh, I have a choice. Either we go away for a 2-week breakaway somewhere, or we come to this event. And it's cost us £1.5 grand, and I'm just like, why? Why would you do? I get it, you're true crime fans, but I get it, but just don't waste money like that. When a week away in the sun, we all need that. What we don't need is listening to shite in an over-expensive hotel. So this is a one-day event in Sheffield. The timings are pretty good. It doesn't start too early. It doesn't start too late. So you don't need to book into a hotel. You could do it as a day trip. There's going to be homicide investigators there, victim stories, former intelligence officer Chris Clark is doing a thingy, plus myself and Adam UK True Crime, Paul and True Crime Enthusiast. We're the headliner. We're ending the show, and at the start is Stuart from British Murders. So lots to enjoy. So I've put a little link in the show notes. I think there's only around 250 tickets. He's kept it quite tight. If that sells out quickly, he said that he can expand to a slightly bigger venue. But the great thing is it's going to be intimate. It's in Sheffield. It's 40 quid. Food is involved. You don't need to stay in an expensive hotel. It's not going to cost you a fortune. It can, it's affordable. So, and if it goes well, hopefully another one will happen. So there you go, folks. That could be really good. Yes. So let's do some quiz questions. And we'll do the answers in the second part of this. So, question number 1, folks. Don't forget I haven't edited the episode yet. So, some of these may get edited out. I don't know yet. I'm going to have a swig of water. It's warm today. It's warm. I think it's 23 degrees. And because we've had rain and rain and rain for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's been really cold, this is the first batch of sun we're getting. And it's weird. It feels weird to have sun again. Go there, stay there. Okay, question number 1. What was the name of the little hamlet that Jamie grew up in? Question number 2. What was the name of his collie dog? Question number 3. How much did it cost to send Jamie to Aberlour, the prep school? Question number 4. He almost made it into which Scottish national team? Question number 5. In what year was Bravo 20 Andy McNabb's I just burped after saying McNabb. Andy McNabb's SAS memoir released? So in what year was Bravo 20 released? Oh, someone's rat is shouting. Oh, someone's got a rat in one of the boats just down from here, and all it does is go all day. It's bored. Entertain your dog, for flip's sake. Question number 6. What did Richard steal from a friend only to pretend it was an SAS identity card? You think this is difficult? You should hear me doing the narration for this. I trip over words all the way through it, which is why it's a nightmare to edit. Question number 7. What was the name of the principal at Modes? Question number 8. How long had Jamie and Richard known each other? Question number 9. The SAS code for SOP meant what? And question number 10. The SAS code for officers was what? So we are good. So that's all good. I've just realised something that normally I draw up a list of things that we're going to talk about afterwards in the show. All the stuff that didn't make it into the episode that I was going to discuss. And normally I've done that. This time, I forgot to draw up a list, so I'm gonna have to wing that slightly. But luckily, I did all the really important stuff. So, cake of the week. Yes, we've got the important stuff. So even though I'm still on a diet and I did have last week a gluten-free double chocolate muffin. I had 2 because they always do them in 2 packs. And it was fine. It was a bit dry, it was a bit dry, a bit synthetic, but. It hadn't got wheat in it. I'm trying to stay off wheat because wheat bloats you out. Well, it definitely bloats me out, so I'm trying not to do that. Especially as yesterday I bought some shorts for my summer holiday away, and I didn't try them on because I went, well, that's the right size, and I put them on and they were way too tight. So either I've put on a lot of weight, or that particular shop is a shit shop. Doesn't know how to measure people properly. I think it's the second one. It's probably not the first one. Anyway, cake of the week. How about this? Banana cake with cream cheese topping. So it's a light sponge cake made with overripe bananas. Nice and simple, not too stodgy. The great thing is, I think it's 2 large bananas in it. So you have a slice that's half of one of your 5 a day, or if you're a pig like me, you wolf down all of them, then that's 5 of your 5 a day. Well, it's 2 of your 5 a day, but if you make 2.5 cakes, that's 5 of your 5 a day. Case closed. And I'm sure the cream cheese frosting on top helps as well. So yeah, nice cream cheese sweet cream cheese frosting on top, or sometimes you can have a nice bit of jam in the centre, or sometimes just have more cream cheese frosting in the centre, but then put some kind of fruits in there as well to kind of give it a bit of a zing. So that's good. I was going to do you a coot update, but Haven't really got many coots around here, but we did have 2 Mandarin ducks, which are very nice. They apparently they're from the Far East, but they've kind of become a little bit more native to the UK. God knows why. Weather here is shit. But they're really lovely. They're very colourful. If you type in Mandarin duck, you'll be able to see them. They're really colourful, really beautiful. They've got really lovely eyes. And at about 6 p.m. every day, when I'm cooking, because I have my side window open when I'm cooking, and it's like a little door I can come in out of, and I can hear a little meeping sound. Them going meep 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 meep, and I turn, and they want me to feed them, which I do. So I do feed them. I feed them all the stuff that they're meant to, little squashed peas they like, and things like that. Things that are really useful. But what I've noticed is they don't like me watching them when they're eating. They're quite shy, so I have to turn away and then come back, and then they've finished the food, then I have to give them some more food. It's weird, it really is. Anyway, so let me dive into the stuff that didn't make it into the episode. So oh, hang on, sorry. Oh shit, I've left my bloody phone on again. Sorry about that. I'm just hang on, who is it? Oh shit. Hello?
You little bald bastard.
Oh, hello, Eva. My love. Tremble, tremble. How may I serve you?
Where's my dinner?
Oh, I'm sorry. Grovel, grovel. I thought you were too unconscious to eat, having drank 52 litres of napalm-flavoured rum.
That was just a snack. Now I'm hungry again. And if you don't get me some grub, pretty damn sharpish, the little thing in your pants that I love to laugh at gets lopped off with a set of tweezers. Got it?
Yes, my love. Shake, shake. Major arousal. What are your demands?
Why, I want a super chili turbo kebab flown in from a discontinued pizzeria in Hawaii. I want you to juggle flaming sheep while they make it. I want it to be so big that it breaks your back as you carry it, and as big chunks of meat fall from my gorgeous lips. I want your sweet little tushy to wiggle as you clean up my mess. And then I want you to sing happy birthday to me in a slutty way, dressed like Marilyn Monroe, all while bouncing on a trampoline and rubbing yourself down with chocolate trifle. Oh yeah. And I want it all here and done before I finish this yard of Sambuca. Or as I said, Mr. Floppy will become the world's smallest draft excluder. Got it?
Yes, my love. I get it. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. Oh, well, as you can hear, listeners, here's a little advert break while I attend to Eva's many demands, but not as many demands as normal. I'm coming, my love. I'm coming. Literally. And I'm back. I waved a copy of the and I'm back. I waved a copy of the Racing Post in Eva's face, and she's busy deciding what to bet on. Well, I mean, after she's sold off my kidneys to be able to fund it, but there we go. Right, so given the fact that I did balls up, normally I prep in advance the kind of things that I wanted to talk about in advance here, but obviously I forgot. So let's go through them slowly. So victim was Mohamed Abbas Nassif Elsey, 44 years old, born and raised in Cairo in Egypt. Originally he trained as a chemistry teacher, moved to London in 1976. His wife, British born, came from Bethnal Green. She met her husband, so Mohammed, when he was a student. As mentioned in the episode, they met at the Empire Ballroom in Leicester Square in 1980. One of those moments where they just saw each other across the dance floor, fell in love with each other, and that was it. She knew that they were going to be together forever, which is kind of a tragic thing to say, really, because they never were. They were together. What's that? 13 years almost. They married 23rd of March 1981 at Hackney Registry Office. As mentioned in the episode, he told her that she made him the happiest man in the world. Father of two. They lived in Holloway. 2 young sons, Sharif, aged 7, and Tariq, aged 3. So young kids, deprived of a father, and a wife deprived of a husband as well. At that point, he was a chef. He was unemployed at that moment. I didn't put it in the episode because it kind of throws everything off. But he'd lost his job. He didn't say why. So he was currently looking for work to support his wife and children. She said he hated violence and always prayed for peace and a long life for his family. He was a decent, loving and happy man. Did everything for his children, taking them to the zoo and out on trips. They were his life. But they just don't understand what happened to him. And that's it, isn't it? It's like kids, like 3 and 7. I mean, the 7-year-old probably could work out a bit, but the 3-year-old just not a clue at all. And even worse, as is our system, he was the sole breadwinner. He was trying to find work for them. They were living in a council flat in Holloway. And at the end of that, she was left on a £51 a week widow's pension, which is nothing really. Car itself, so it was his car. It was a 10-year-old car, a silver pale blue Audi, a B-Reg. I think we've kind of, there's a lot that kind of Jamie kind of said about himself, but it's kind of hard to really pin down who Jamie is through this, because obviously he spoke a lot afterwards, and he liked to talk about himself, but kind of people talking about themselves after the fact, there's always a sense of arse covering there. So I think you always have to be cautious about this. He said, I'm a chilled out person, mellow, a friendly kid. I'm into Indian music. I like things like the Levelers, Nirvana, Radiohead, stuff like that. I'm well into sports. I'm a bit of a cat in the hat. If you want a picture, get a drawing of a really cool teenager with hearts and peace and love and empathy all around the edge, because that is me. What does that even mean? What really does that even mean? As we saw in the episode, his parents tried really well to they worked really hard. They were immigrants from overseas. His father had come here from Italy post-war. They'd opened up a cafe, they opened up an ice cream parlour. As far as I know, it's still there today, and working really hard to kind of give him the best life that they could. A nice house in a really lovely place, no brothers and sisters, so all their attention was dedicated on him, and they put him into some of the best schools in the country, like absolutely the best, like Aberlour, which is a prep school. It's also a feeder school for Gordonston, which is the same school that King Charles and Prince Philip went to. So that's the kind of the level it is there. So, but as he said, he said, I was on my own a lot. I had lots of friends, but I couldn't relate to them. I thought there was something not right socially. I grew up from 0 to 13. I grew up there from 0 to 13 because of the isolation where I lived, with nearly no contact with other human beings. Now for normal people, I mean the average person, that would be really bad. But for me, it was just really bad luck, because of this personality type that I had developed is really, really friendly. I took it a lot worse. I think most people would love growing up there. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's kind of like life is what you make it. Like, you could grow up in some of the most deprived areas in the city and come away from it being a massive criminal, a selfish, self-obsessed criminal, or you could be the kind of person who wants to do well for your community and become like a community leader and help people who are disadvantaged. Or you could say to yourself, I want to be or you could be someone who's just like, this is my life, I'm going to stick with it, I'm fine with that. Or you could be someone who just goes, right, I never want to go back there, and I want to prove to people that I'm better than that. Same as living in a lovely upper middle class place with like the in the Highlands of Scotland with beautiful scenery and stuff like that. You can either go, this is amazing, it's going to awaken my creative juices and I'm going to become an outdoor expert and things like that, or you could go, this is horrible, I hate it, it's boring, all it is trees and sheep and shit. It's how you react to life, isn't it? That's kind of really what's important. I'll try not to go over the same bits of the story that we've already kind of covered. As we know, he age 14, he approached the Royal Marines and told them that he wanted to be an officer when he grew up. Therefore, from that point, he really got into kind of all the sports. He knew that he was doing all the things that he thought that would be really useful to get me into the Marines, because you have to be physically fit, but also you have to have good A levels as well. And unfortunately, he's relatively smart, but the problem is he just doesn't have an attention span. He's lonely. He's constantly drifting off, which is why he failed his A levels. Come on, I mean, most people fail their A levels. My A levels weren't particularly good. I remember calling up my dad afterwards and telling him what grades I got, and his reaction was, "Oh well, never mind." But there we go. Richard Elsey. I think this is what's interesting about the episode is that with Jamie, he was the one that they said during the time of the murder that he was the one suffering from early stages of schizophrenia, and they were able to kind of get various psychiatrists to agree to that, but some actually disagreed with it as well, as you'd expect. Nothing is ever clear-cut in the medical sciences. But it's kind of interesting that with Richard, given the fact that Richard really is the one who's the fantasist, and he's the one with the SAS fantasy that's going on, and he's the one who believes, he's the one who's saying, I'm a second lieutenant in the Powers. I've been seconded to the SAS, and even though it is Jamie who is the one who believes it, even though when you look at them, you just go, he's an 18-year-old kid. He's just a kid. He's tall and weedy, and he's nowhere near as kind of physically strong as Jamie is. But I guess that's the thing, isn't it? Sometimes when you want to believe something, it doesn't matter what happens. You just accept it. You just go, right, that must be it. So yeah. Let's scroll down to see. This is why I always like to prep this bit in advance, because then I don't have to start scrolling and finding things. Where is the bit I wanted? Similarities between both boys. So they're both dissatisfied. This has been a pain throughout, trying to say the word dissatisfied. They were both dissatisfied with their privileged middle-class backgrounds. They were seen as social misfits. Jamie wanted to be somebody. Richard wanted power and control. Jamie wanted to be a hero. He said that he was kind of bullied at Gordonston. It wasn't bullying as such. It was kind of, he was ignored. He said his exact words were, "I never felt that there was anyone I could just sit down and have a cup of coffee with." So it was kind of that. But don't forget, this is Gordonston. It's full of privileged pricks who spend all their time waffling about, "Oh, I've got this, I've got that, I'm wealthy," not realising that they don't own shit. It's their parents who own it, and they're just pampered little privileged pricks who are there because mummy and daddy either worked hard or aren't paying their taxes. There we go, just a little politics, just throw that in there. They were both only children, which I think is interesting, that they both wanted a sibling and they both wanted friends, and that's how they kind of found what they wanted in each other. Both had an English parent and an immigrant parent. So that's it's interesting that you have these similarities as well. The immigrant parents who really want their children to kind of do well and to strive. You know, I think that's the thing. There was someone I know recently tried to set up I can't remember. It was a group to try and get more people from ethnic minorities into the creative industries, and that was his thing. He was like, because he's a black man and he's creative as well, and he said that was his thing and he really wanted to do, and he said he hadn't really twigged how hard it was going to be, because if you think about it, if you're British born and blah 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 for lots of generations, you wouldn't really see this. But if your parents have come from overseas and they've come from nothing and they've arrived in the country with nothing and they've worked their arses off in order to get you the best education you've got, they want you to be a doctor or a lawyer or something great like that. They want you to achieve. They don't want you to turn around and go, I want to become a drummer, even though that's probably what you want to do. And that's the thing with a lot of children of immigrants, they want to please their parents because their parents have worked hard to get them where they are. So there's probably a sense of that with these kids as well, that they didn't want to do what their parents wanted them to do. I think, not to blame the parents, but I think there's also some pressure put on them, as you see with parents and kids as well. Do you know, if a parent, anyone who's been to Sunday football, I've been a couple of times. I don't like football, but you see the dads on the scoreline, and they tend to be the worst behaved out of anyone there, because they're the ones who wanted to be footballers, who have failed, and they're shouting at the kids, going, get in there, screaming their heads off, and they're the ones who get told off the most, just because they're so badly behaved, because they want it so badly for their child that they can't. They've forgotten how to be a parent, how to be a human being, how to be decent. It's all about achieving what they want through their children, which I think, not to blame the parents, I think there's some of that here. You can't blame it entirely on them. Where was the bit I really wanted to dive into? It's interesting. I can't. Oh no! I was going to see. That's the problem with this bloody quiz. I can't say half the things I'd want to say because it gives it away. The timings of when Bravo 20 Andy McNabb's book came out and when the murder happened is close. It's like really close. So you can see how long these boys have been in a friendship together. You can see when the book came out. You can see when the murder happened. So this isn't something that happened over months and years and ages. This is a really short period of time. And let's not forget this. You've still got to factor in a period of time when they're becoming friends as well. They're getting to know each other. They're not on the same courses together, therefore they're not hanging around together, so that first month of getting to know someone is really the hard bit, isn't it? Not going to do that bit, not going to do that bit, not going to do that bit. They referred to themselves as the Bravo 2 heroes. It was by the time they'd reached their first half term, so that's kind of mid-October, that's when all this had kicked in. They'd kind of put aside their everyday life. This was what they were going to do. They swapped nicknames. So Jamie had become Happy, that was his nickname. I don't know whether that's meant to be ironic. And Richard was Billy, after Billy the Kid. Because he was so young to be an officer in the Paras, which of course we know that he wasn't. What else is there? This is why I like to have it all organised. Their attitude. There's something that I read earlier before. When they were in Oxford, Richard tripped over a man's dog one day as they came out of Oxford Market. They rapidly concluded that the correct reaction would be to rip his effing head off, but they didn't. They just rolled their shoulders and they strode around town. That's the thing, isn't it? If it was an older person, you would look at them and think, "Oh, weirdo." Oh. But as it's teens, we all dress a little bit weird when you're a teen, and you all act different because you're at that stage where you're not an adult yet, but you're still trying to work out who you are. And we've all had weird haircuts and weird clothing and. I don't know, when I used to work in the petrol station at university, this kid used to come in, and he went to America for a week, and then he came back with a fake American accent. Sorry, I say American accent in the same way that people say a British accent, by which they mean either Cockney or either posh. He had an American accent. It was much of a muchness. It was nothing really. It was kind of, you could tell it was North American, but there was no real shape to it at all. And you could tell he was putting it on, and he was putting it on to his new friends who he'd met in the UK. But when he came into the shop, he wouldn't talk to me because he knew he'd have to use the accent, and he was just pointing at the cigarettes he wanted. So I refused to serve him cigarettes until he asked me properly, and then he had to put on his accent, and I was like, "Ah, you tit." The little training methods that we mentioned in there, it's uncertain whether this is true. Apparently they went into the Royal Garden Hotel, which is 24 Kensington High Street, just off Hyde Park. So all this is within, if you walk around Hyde Park, everything that's happening on here is on the boundaries of Hyde Park. very little is a way. So they pretended they were. Oh, I got hiccups and burpees. SAS heroes. Jamie said he was Captain T.G. Walker, and Richard said he was Lieutenant Chris Winter. Let's not forget they're 18 to 19 years old, so very unlikely. Very unlikely. They said that they took a hotel room and arranged for the bill to be sent to the army. How? How would you do that without no documentation and no ID? It just doesn't happen. Anyone who, like me, has worked in hotels, you know how the systems work. You don't just walk in there and say, "Oh, can you have Professor Farquhar pay for it?" And you go, "Oh yes, of course. Yeah, that's not a problem at all." Things have to be done properly. So I think that's bollocks. They said they relieved a waiter of a bottle of vodka. Really? I mean, A, how do you relieve a waiter of a bottle of vodka? B, when have you ever seen a waiter carrying a bottle of anything except a bottle of wine? And then they celebrated their successful mission by removing the breakfast orders hanging off people's doorknobs and swapping them round. Wow. I think I was just... Oh yeah, no, that's what I wanted. Okay, so Christmas time 1993. Richard went home to his parents in Beaconsfield, and Jamie said, I thought he was in the regiment training in Iraq. So when Richard was there, he told Jamie that he was on a mission to kill rescuing US hostages in Baghdad. He whispered details of his mission to Jamie, and Jamie loved him for it. Then Richard sent him a letter which said, "Hasta la vista." Obviously, you can tell what era this is. He said, "Hasta la vista, Jamie. Somewhere out there, an unknown soldier lies. By now, as you are reading all this crap, I am either with the bearded, haloed guy or the big red guy. That's God or the devil. I am deader than a dead thing. I'm lost for words. Make sure my will is enforced, will you? Fuck this one up, and I will come back and haunt you till your dying day. Remember what we said, Happy. Be the best." Which is just bollocks. Just bollocks. He wasn't in Iraq rescuing hostages. He was at Mummy's and Daddy's house, opening his presents, going, "Oh, an action man, brilliant! It's exactly what I wanted." So I think that's it. I'm not going to go through too much else because we've kind of covered most of it already in there. What I will do, I'm going to go back and do the quiz questions. Quizzy McQuiz quiz. And of course we can see what bits I've already ballsed up. God. See, this is why I like having my sheet prepped properly by me, because then I don't have to whiz through trying to find stuff. But here we go. Right, folks, let's see how many you got right. Oh, helicopter going by. Question number 1. What was the name of the little hamlet where Jamie grew up? It was Cromdale. Oh, boat going by. Question number 2. What was the name of his collie dog? It was Jake. Of course, that's all the friend you need, really, isn't it? If you've got a dog as a friend, you don't really need another friend. It's the perfect friend. Will never abandon you, will never say anything horrible to you, will never treat you like shit. You'll have to pick up their shit every so often, but apart from that, dog is a wonderful friend to have. Question number 3, how much did it cost to send Jamie to Aberlour, the prep school? Well, this is 1994 costs, so this is £11,000 a year. £11,000 a year to send a kid to school. I know people who spend £30,000 a year to send their kids to school, and you just think, why? Or as my friend Northern Andy said rightly, one of the girls we went to university with, she was bragging about her university, her posh school, and like how much money it cost, and they did yachting as a sport. And quite rightly, Andy, in his very blunt way, went, "Well, you ended up in the same shit university as us." And it was like, yeah, in your face. Your parents wasted a lot of money. Question number 4. Jamie almost made it into which national team? Into which Scottish national team? It was a skiing team, Apparently he was a very good skier. Question number 5. In what year was Bravo 20 Andy McNabb's SAS memoir released? That was 1993, so it was October 1993. So they became friends September, October 1993. And the book was released October 1993, and then the murder took place January 1994. So you can see that leads up until question number 8 in a bit. So you can have that one for free if you haven't already worked it out. Question number 6. What did Richard steal from a friend only to pretend it was an SAS identity card? It was a travel card. Because as we all know, as an elite force, the SAS carry ID cards around. Maybe it's a lanyard. Maybe it's a nice red lanyard with the words SAS or on there, and then they have a nice ID badge, and it says Jamie, major in the SAS, and what his specialisms is and where he fought as well. Or, given the fact that they're secret, it's likely that they probably don't have ID cards. Question number 7. What is the name of the principal at Modes? It's Dr. Stephen Moore. Question number 8. How long had Jamie and Richard known each other? So that was 4 months in total, just 4 months. Question number 9. The SAS code for SOP meant what? Standard operating procedures? Yawn o'clock. And question number 10. The SAS code for officers was what? Ruperts. Whooperts. I believe that's a World War I thing, because all the posh boys would become officers, not because they were particularly good at their job, but because they were posh, and therefore they were given the nice jobs where you stand at the back with your little stick, and you order all the oiks, all the working class boys to go and stand up in front of that machine gun and get shot to death. Yes, oh, jolly good show. What? Therefore they were all called Ruperts. So I think that's it, folks. That was that. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you enjoyed Extra Mile. There won't be a nugget this week, just because nuggets will only pop up when there's really something that I think is really important that we should put in. So that'll be a surprise thing every so often. So that's me done, folks. I'm going to have me some falafel. Wow, my life is exciting. Have yourself a good week. Stay safe. Be good. Thank you for supporting the show. It's very much appreciated. Lots of love.